Slowly but surely getting everything back into snuff and getting it going. As you can tell, we are doing the show like we used to. It's an old school show, not done in landscape because, well, at the end of the day, I was fighting my phone and it wasn't working. So, anyway, the studio will be set up. I've been working really hard on trying to slowly but surely organize everything in the house. But here we are. We're ready to rock, and we're going to have a good show, my friends. All right, so let's go to the beginning here. What's up, WB Growers? Good to see you. What's up, Daleski OG? What's up, Growers Plus? Good to see you, my friend. What's up, Matt Hall? All right. All right, there we go. I am here, my friend. I am here. Sorry, I got held up earlier today. So I had to start the show at 3. It's just been one of those things of trying to slowly but surely kind of putter away on things and getting things sort of fixed and working and etc. The good thing is I'm getting there. I'm really getting there. We're going to have the studio set up soon. We're going to have a bunch of grow tents set up soon. The store's going to be reopening very, very soon. And we're going to be getting back to making all of our how-to educational videos as well. So I'm very excited about that. All right. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day today so far. In terms of the way we're going to do tents, we're going to have a couple of tents set up for doing grows, okay? We're going to have some grow tents set up, so we're going to grow some cannabis. But then we're also going to have a number of tents set up so we can kind of further continue both producing and releasing beans and genetics for everybody. One of the fun things that I think I'm going to do is I've got some really rare old school beans. And before we do any intermixing with them, I think what I'm going to do is actually make a batch of these beans for everybody, these old beans. We've got things like lemon ties, Vancouver Island sweet skunk. I've got a few different things that are labeled as the original skunk. We'll see how close they are. They're all very, very old. I've got rare golden indicas from the Oahu Islands. I've got a number of different old school strains that I'm going to basically do an initial run on to release for everybody, because why not? I mean, at the end of the day, getting some of these older genetics back out there, making a genetic gene pool that's stable and hasn't been destroyed for the last bajillion years, aka 20, 25 years of people misappropriating breeding practices, compounding genetic frailty by feminization and etc. So oh yeah, and WB Growers, these are an old school lemon tie from back in the hood days. Like these are old school things. What's up, Alex Squatch? Good to see you. What's up, CSL RC Lauren? What's happening? All right, Miss K, good to see you, baby. But there's quite a few fun little things, you know what I mean, that we're going to be kind of releasing. One of the things I might try to do, I mean, I've only got a few of them of the Sasquatch strain left, which is a strain I developed, but we may not get a male out of it. But what I may do is cross it with something that I know will pair with it very well, and then be able to bring back a couple of renditions of Sasquatch-esque strains. But what we're going to do is I think one of the first things I'm going to do is obviously we're going to grow out and keep stabilizing out some of the stuff like Galactic Citrus Shiva, Orange Warrior Widow. But I think what I'm going to do is dust off some of these old beans. That's actually going to be the first video I make on an educational video. I'm making a comprehensive, all-inclusive video on popping old beans and getting old beans to pop. Part of that series obviously will be great because that's literally what we're trying to do, is to make a fresh batch of these old school genetics to make available and accessible to everybody at home. What's happening? Random hair in my mouth. What's up, Jansen Dan? It's good to see you, buddy. What's up, Eugene Dolan? Good to see you. All right. Do I have any plans to show? Not right now, Matt Hall. The whole house is torn apart. I basically have been working over the last couple of weeks to try to incorporate far too much stuff into my apartment. We sold the house. The house sale's gone through. I've started my new chapter and moved on to the next chapter of my life and have the Potsquatch Growers world. Once I get the house set up, we're going to be popping some plants right away. I'm going to be doing some of those auto-flowering ones for Mikey as well, or Texas Squatch, I should say. And we're going to pop those out on the balcony here just for fun. but it's going to be good. Yes, WB Growers, we don't do fems. We will never. Maybe once in a blue moon, I'll release something as a limited edition feminized line. But feminization is the wrong practice to ever utilize for creating a genetic stock. I know a lot of people at home are like, "Well, I like to know that it's going to be a girl." Well, at the end of the day, that addiction, I'm going to call it an addiction, to laziness as a grower is what's leading to fragmented genetics infiltrating the genetic gene pools all around the world. We need to, as growers, the world over, move away from feminized genetics. We need to realize that the proper way to do something is just to grow them out. And at the end of the day, when you have a regular genetic, if you choose to breed with it, if you choose to make more of those beans for yourself, for your friends, for your community, then you have the God-given right to do so. We need to get back to proper, stable genetics that throw both males and females. We need to actually stop these back crossing and compounding feminization of practices for producing of genetics, because it's what's leading everything to foxtail. It's what's leading everything to herm if you fart on it wrong. And at the end of the day, I don't know about you at home, but I'd like to get back to a consistent genetic where it's producing high-end bag appeal, it's producing high levels of production, it's producing a high-end level of potency at the same time. Uh, there we go. Oh, thank you, whoever was the moderator that handled that. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just reading now. No, you're right, Texas Squatch. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is I can't control what people are going to do. I'm going to bank on the fact that people know the true Potsquatch genetics. They're going to bank on they ordered it from me. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to be worried about it, because like if someone goes and takes one of my genetics and works with it, great. I'm not worried about it. I've got a whole lifetime worth of breeding ahead of me. And I'm going to keep coming up with crazy things and wonderful things. I work with other people's genetics sometimes too. So at the end of the day, we need to shift the culture back to where it once was. Back in the day, we weren't competing with each other. We weren't hiding and squirreling away and hoarding genetics and then only releasing feminized things because then someone would steal it or this, that. Back in the day, in the old world, breeders would share genetics. They would trade genetics. People would do things like this. And that is how modern cannabis, before it got fucked, was born. The likes of Shanti Bubba, Neville, and a number of other, growers and breeders out there. We need to quell the fear. We need to stomp that fear out. We need to get rid of it and stop being afraid of people stealing genetics. Because really, at the end of the day, most of what everyone's working with out there anyway came from Neville and Shanti Bubba anyway. You ain't stealing shit. It was their work, and you never see them getting all butthurt about it. They're just sitting there as these OGs. Well, Neville's passed away, but going, wow, we invented modern cannabis. So that's kind of where I'm not too worried about it, right? If someone wants to take it and do it, go ahead. Because at the end of the day, it's still my work. It's still genetics getting out there. Even if I don't get the benefit of the profit of it, whatever. I'm going to be making my own money, doing my own thing. And there's only going to be one place to buy true Potsquatch genetics. It's Uncle Potsquatch, the Fletcher Marsh Group. There's going to be one company that does it. Mine. So at the end of the day, there's going to be knockoffs maybe, sure. And to be fair, if they actually legitimately breed my genetics properly, they'll probably be almost as good as mine, if not the same, because it's my work anyway. I'm not worried about it, though, because I'm on a mission not only to make a few bucks as a company, obviously, but I'm on a mission to empower people. I'm on a mission to lift people up. I'm on a mission to make sure that by the time I die, there's a crap ton of stable, reliable genetics everywhere the planet over. So that when I go and die and kick the bucket, I know everybody's going to be okay. What's up? If I've missed anyone, by the way, hello to everyone. Hello, Jansen. What's up, Joth Smoke? I'm doing good. Busy, tired, busy all over the place, but No, exactly, Dale Scioji. I feel the same way. Like, let them work with it because most people are pollen chuckers. Like, nobody's going to be doing the work to the level, or very few people will do the work to the level that I do and the way I'm passionate about it. So I'm not really worried at all. And for us, our mission isn't to become the one and only stop source like a evil Monsanto of genetics. I want to release a huge amount of genetics into the world for people to play with and to use. That's the whole point. At the end of the day, even if you spend your lifetime developing certain genetics, you don't own those genetics. Mother Nature does. Let them be free. Free the weed titties, man. Let them out. Let Mother Nature do what she does best, which is basically just growing her own self. Betty, be nice to your brother. Sorry, everybody. Oh, hell yeah, brother. Most definitely, WB. One second here, everybody. I'm just reading everybody's messages here. I'm doing well, Romanians. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I've actually got a few of the Jordan of the Islands things on in my genetic vault actually there too. I have respect for their work as well. And at the end of the day, I know it's a hard thing, but we as the breeders, we as the seed brands, if we work together, right, we can begin to educate people. We can begin to bring things back. We can begin to make a new world that is a better, newer version of what used to exist. We don't need to be scared. We don't need to, oh, they're going to rip off my work. Well, they're not. They're going to be like a China, right? China always finds a way to knock off shit regardless. But it's still never as good as the original. Even if it comes close, it's still not the original. You know what I'm saying? What's up, little Chewy Stewie? Good to see you, buddy. So at the end of the day, everybody, like that's kind of what we're doing, and that's what we're working towards. One of the things I've been kind of designing and working on is sort of a better control system. So I'm going to be doing a lot of like microbreeding, which means a couple of plants in small tents throughout this apartment. How do I keep it under pollen control? How do I be able to do that? So I've been kind of working and playing around with some different designs on ventilation systems and other things to integrate into that, just to kind of be able to do it effectively and safely in this little apartment that is now where I live. But, that's going to be some of the stuff that we get going really soon. I'm pretty stoked about that. Yo, holy shit. Texas Pete, it has been a fucking minute. It's been a hot minute, you big sexy Texan. How you doing, buddy? I hope you and the family are well. I haven't spoken to you in years, it feels like. It's probably been at least a year. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Growers Plus, how did my Kush plants come out? If you mean the Miracle Alien Cookies by 8 Ball Kush, they turned out quite well. Little sat leaning for my liking. But when I compared my finished product to the product that was actually done by the breeder, I much preferred how I finished it. But it was quite nice. Again, a little bit satty for my tastes, but it was a fun grow. It was the first real little grow that we did here, and it was a lot of fun. And we rocked it with those two little squatches there, and so it was rocking and rolling. Hell yeah, Texas Pete! Congratulations on another grandbaby. It's a boy. All right. The one thing here. Let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about what we were just talking about in terms of the community, right? I keep looking the world over at YouTube's quietly while I've been, trying to get everything back up and going, and I just see that things have descended into this huge, giant motif of people bitching at people, of people fucking yelling at people and fighting with people, and this or that. I'm not going to name any channels. That's going to just further the point. When do we become a bunch of whining bitches? When do we become so competitive with each other? We were the fucking weed titty people. We were the outlaws, man. It was us versus the world. It shouldn't be us versus each other. Come on, no. There's literally enough room in this space and in this industry for us all. Nothing wrong with a bit of friendly competition either. I'm not against cannabis cups. I'm not against friendly competition. Friendly competition is totally copacetic and okay, but it's how we treat each other with respect that allows for healthy competition to actually exist. And it just saddens my heart. It saddens my Potsquatch heart to see the infighting and bullshit that our people are doing to each other. God damn it, motherfuckers. The big companies are still out there. The big companies are still wanting to destroy us. Why are we trying to destroy each other? Come on now. Together we stand, divided we fall. And that has not changed. That, if anything, is the truest statement in terms of what we're talking about that could ever exist. You know what I'm saying? There you go, little Chewy Stewie. I mean, you remember how long or how much you fought in the past to against LEDs? It makes me very happy to. Okay, so I got it. I got it. I'm trying to view the. I did. This is true. WB Grows. I did coin the term weed titties. I've actually coined a number of terms and techniques in the industry, but that's all good. I don't come up with new growing techniques or new terms or new this to own them or to do this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, yes, I'm going to capitalize on them. I'm going to put them on our shirts. I'm going to put them on our posters. I'm going to put them on our swagger, you know. But I'm here to share knowledge, right? And I learn just as much as I share from all of you at home. I mean, this community is one that is a living, breathing thing in and of itself. We need to love it. We need to nurture it. We need to work together, not keep fighting in amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? Hey, little Chewy Stewie, at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with your grows, that's all I'll ever care about. I mean, if you like HPS, great. If you love LED, great. I mean, at the end of the day, I have my own preference. You have your own preference. Different styles are like what makes this community so diverse. There is no one right way to do anything, okay? Unless we're talking about trimming your weed and you should dry trim. I'm just joking. But, well, I mean that kind of. But anyway, like at the end of the day, the diversity of approaches, the diversity of genetics, the diversity of us as a people is what makes us beautiful. 1 second here. Nims39 says, I recently watched a podcast. They're called the Breeders Syndicate 2.0. And the episode was called How Cookies, Gelato, Sherb, Runts, and Z-Skittles Killed Modern Breeding. It was an interesting watch. I mean, to be fair, I think that's a little mean to those strains. Those strains are all functions of a new age breeding technique, which isn't really breeding in my humble 2 cents. Are we technically making seeds? Yes. But breeding is a lifelong advocacy. Breeding properly is pheno hunting. And when you find that special thing, you'll work with it. That is what all of the OG breeders did. That's also what Mother Nature does by the quote unquote survival of the fittest, okay? So it's like at the end of the day, you know, that's just how we got to approach shit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Jansen Dennis, our LED lights are still technically available from Soul Strip. You know, now that I'm getting everything going again, I got to talk to Brett. If he wants to keep partnerships going, cool. I kind of want to take over the Potsquatch LED lighting brand on my own. I kind of want to start designing the lights myself and also bring manufacturing to Canada, employ some of my fellow Canucks. That is one of the things I am working on to get going. Hell yeah, Mud Sweat. That's awesome. Those are those Mango Northern Light whatevers that I sent you, right? Dude, that's awesome, Daleski OG. Like, I mean, I know when I was running my bigger setups, I definitely was spending some serious money on power. But I always spend money on power. It's sort of one of those things that I've always just had to accept. Being Uncle Potsquatch, I'm going to spend money on power. It's just what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I spend money on power. I was gonna say Texas Pete because, like, I mean, the last time I remember talking to you about growing some weed titties was it's been a hot minute, bro. It's been a hot minute. You still talking to the blind cultivator at all? I talked to him once in a blue moon there, Texas Pete. I haven't talked to him in a while. I hope he's doing well and he's doing okay there down in Texas as well. I believe you guys live quite close to each other, yeah? I mean, Dale's OG LEDs are the only way now. I mean, it's just sort of the whole industry shifted to it. I mean, for years LEDs weren't quite there in terms of their technology. They weren't quite quote unquote ready to rock and roll, but the tech's there now. I mean, it's LEDs are the way to go. The way the LED chip in and of itself emits a photon is just so much more conducive to a plant's biology of properly utilizing those photons for photosynthesis. Where with an HPS, it's kind of like force feeding the plant photons. Where with the LED and the way that wavelength of light comes out, it's just the plant can stop taking it if it doesn't want it anymore, too. Like, it's just better. Oh, sweet. You just installed a new toilet for him the other day. All right. He's doing all right. Well, you know what, Texas Pete? One of these days, you, me, and the blind cultivator should get on a phone call. We'll have a good old chat, man. Jansen Dennis, I was briefly connected to FCPO2, which is an offshoot of the original FCP channel. So I know London Nero from there, and I did some stuff with him. But I don't really know those guys like much, right? Like London was associated with one of their offshoots. Um, if they want me on a show, I would be happy to come on the show. I would be happy to come talk on a show. But really, at the end of the day, they're going to have to reach out to me and extend the invitation, right? Like, I mean, I'm not going to go running after anybody, but I'm completely at a place in my career where I'm totally down to do co-shows. I'm down to make appearances on other people's shows or have people on our show. Once I finally get this silly studio setup done, which I'm getting pretty close, I think I'll get pretty close today to kind of have the basics of everything hooked back up again and running for doing lives. But a big thing for me is like what built our channel wasn't the live streams. Like that all came later. What I'm really excited about getting back to and getting going again is, in fact, getting our educational videos back up and running. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm excited about. Saul Stanley, as I shared at the beginning of the show, we will be popping beans soon, but I've got to get the rest of the apartment set up first before I can accommodate that. Basically, I've been trying to fit in all the stuff for my separation from the house. I got pretty much everything, which is great, but I'm in a small apartment now. So I've been playing a lot of Tetris and shift and move shit around. Yes, so Anthony Baker, I do sometimes chop with clear trichromes. Also, too, especially if I'm looking to make like a really nice light colored rosin, or what I affectionately call, as a joke, kind of ghost rosin. That's how we dictate the color of our rosins when we're pressing our flour or pressing bubble hash or our trikes. If we do an early harvest, we're going to have an early or light color rosin. If you go with like pretty much straight clear trichromes, that's where these weird ghost rosins that are kind of almost clear come from. All right. One second here. I'm just reading. Hey, thank you very much, Jansen. I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm looking forward to actually getting everything back up to snuff and getting it all going again. It's been what I call the year from hell, affectionately. It's I lost my life, almost lost everything. I had a lot of legal battles due to my ex lying and etc. And it cost me over 30 fucking $1,000. To be fair, to get to where I'm at now in terms of all these things, but I'm there. I'm debt free. I'm rebuilding everything. I'm buying some condos in Edmonton as investments. I'm getting the company again. Labels are coming, right? I'm going to be standing with some other breeders like Texas Squatch and Ben from Higher Than Life Genetics. We're going to be having other breeders available on our store as well. We're going to be diversifying tons of stuff. We're going to be bringing in glass for sale in our store. We're going to be bringing in a new custom line eventually of kind of these silicon art piece bongs that are interchangeable pieces, but they're going to be limited edition releases created by Guinea and Hay, who's a local artist here in BC. Predominantly, he does special effects makeup art for the film industry, but we're going to be making these sort of, high-end silicon bongs that are kind of art pieces and kind of fun. I've been toying around with a lot of different ideas, actually, about different things we can launch. I guarantee you that this winter will be the first winter where you're going to be able to buy toques. You're going to be able to buy hoodies. We're going to get all of that back up and running too. and releasing different types of swag, the clothing line, all of that. We're going to be expanding the CBD line. We're going to be launching the CBD line with like a big thing of gummies now. So instead of buying a 4 pack, you're going to be able to buy like a big giant container of them. One second here, everybody. I'm just reading. Yes, so our camera is in vertical mode because I couldn't get my phone to switch over, even though the landscape lock or portrait lock wasn't on. I don't normally do the show on our cell phone. I normally do it on our studio setup, but I'm still setting that up. So I couldn't find that. I was going to try to like do a makeshift one really quick, but I couldn't find the laptop's power cable. So I did this instead. And at the end of the day, at least you get to see my beautiful face and my voice can still come through to you. I just wanted to make sure that we get back on the track of trying to do at least one show a week. And what I'm really though excited is actually getting our store back up and running and doing all the things that I've intended to do. We're going to be bringing Jake's All-in-One back on the store. It's going to be available. We're going to be bringing a bunch of other products in as well onto the store. Do I have an email? Yes, it is potsquatch420 at gmail.com. Growers Plus, if you type in POTSQUATCH 420 at gmail.com, that is my email there. Well, Jonathan, I mean, it's all about changes. I mean, if you all at home knew the amount of times that I've gone to new chapters and shifted gears or had shit blow up in my face or good things work out, I mean, it's astonishing. Like, I was just recanting that to my girlfriend the other day. All the weird, crazy shit I've done and been through so far in my life. I turn 35 very soon. July 5th, I turn 35. And what I've already done by the age of 35 is more than most people do in 2 lifetimes. So it's all an adventure and it's all a ride, and I'm feeling pretty excited and pretty good about what's actually coming forward with things and moving on with things. And hell, I've got a big movie deal I'm in negotiations with to hopefully shoot next year down in Costa Rica. Um, I've got a good day job, right? Like I'm working at the golf club now. I'm making decent money, paying my bills. I've paid off all my debt. I mean, these are all good things, right? Yeah, no, Grow Plus, we are the same age. I nearly died recently, right? Went through that, almost died, didn't die. Um, you know, fucking nearly destroyed my dick, but I mean, I'm getting that's healing, and I've got reconstructive surgery going to be happening. We're building a brand new cock. It's going to be beautiful. I call it Frankenweenie. It's going to be great. Oh, it's already got a Potsquatch Growers Army button on there, bud. Well, exactly, Jansen. I agree. It's about staying positive and just doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? No, don't. And again, Growers Plus. Most people think I'm a lot older than I am. I've pretty much spent my whole life having people think I'm older than I am. I've been getting auditions to play dads in their late 30s, early 40s since I was like 22. Well, thank you very much, Growers Plus. That means a lot to me. I will always do my darndest to be someone you can look up to, or at least learn a thing or two from. I agree, Alex Squatch. Avoiding death is a positive thing, Um, and I made it through, and things are going well, slowly but surely. I mean, I've got another follow up appointment on the 20th there. Yes, Alex Squatch, it did. Basically, if for those of you just tuning in who aren't aware of the medical issues that I had, I got hit by a freak strep A infection uh, that attacked my dick and scrotum. And simply put, what happened was, in the span of 15 hours, my scrotum swelled up to the size of a small watermelon. My dick swelled up 10 inches around and started turning black. It brought a whole new meaning to big black cock. And it was funny because I went to the hospital the first night when that was going down. I was like, hey man, like something wrong. And there was a little bit of swelling down there, but like I just felt really sick. I thought I had like the flu or something, maybe, or COVID, or And so I went to the hospital. They're like, "Oh, you just had way too much sex for a few days," which I had. And they're like, "You got the flu. Go home and rest. Eat some soup." I was like, "Okay." So I went home. I ate some soup. I wake up the next day, and everything starts to change. Everything starts to change, and it happened quickly. Like I was watching, like hour to hour, like these big black streaks grow on my dick. So around 11:30 at night that Sunday, I was like, "Damn." I think I need to go to the hospital. It was the most excruciating thing I've ever been through. So I showed up at the hospital. I'm like, "Hey, you guys said I had the flu. I don't think this is the flu. Please, somebody help me." And when I got into the acute care room and the doctor, she looked at it. She's like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry this is happening to you." I found out from the head of infectious disease I was so sick when I returned to the hospital the next day that I was literally hours away from death. I was essentially 6 or so hours away from complete sepsis, complete organ failure. Okay, my entire body was on the verge of death. Um, I'm glad I didn't wait till the morning to go to the hospital because I almost did, but I decided to put on pants and nip my ass down there. But yeah, and then I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then I was on outpatient care for 5 daily intravenous antibiotics for 5 fucking weeks after that. It was nuts or nuts, shall I say? Because I only have one after the tumor. But yeah, no, it's healing up. It's blown to hell. I'm gonna need reconstructive surgery and skin grafts and all of that shit. And my dick may always look like it's been in a bar fight for 10 years of its life, but that's okay. It's got character now. It's been through the ringer and then some. It's been on an adventure, but it's still there. I spent that first week in the hospital. They were basically wanting to cut my dick off, and I was like fighting that. Did this happen because of her? No, no. I just literally got a strep infection that decided to hit my dick. It's not an STI, man. It's just literally life. If you want to blame anything, the Omicron variant of COVID is what caused this. So right now, there's a 1,500% increase epidemic going on of weird freak strep A infections killing people all over the world. They don't talk about it much in the news, but it's a very real thing. I was almost a statistic who joined that. I had Omicron roughly a year ago. Wasn't so bad. I was pretty sick for a few days and then I was okay. But then that is what's led to this weird breakout of strep A infections. Strep A is the base bacteria that then turns into flesh-eating disease, or aka MSRA, necrotizing fasciitis, scarlet fever, all these other wonderful things. Luckily, I got through it. Staph is a type of strep. Staph infections is what becomes from a strep A bacteria. I did not have a staph infection. I had a strep A infection. So Alex Squatch, strep A becomes a staph infection. It can go a lot of routes. Like I said, though, it can become all these different things. No, it was crazy though, because like I was having this strep A infection blow up when I was having sex with the woman who is now my girlfriend, and it was funny because like I show up at the hospital dying, and then she goes and runs like a 10 kilometer run, the Sun Run in Vancouver. But then she started feeling kind of not great, so I told her, I was like, "Yo, woman, like you just fucked me, and I'm dying from this thing that was infiltrating my dick when we had sex. You should probably go to the hospital." So I ended up giving it to her as well, and luckily though we got to her early, so she, a week of antibiotics, and she was completely fine. Where for me, mine ran rampant for a while, so I had to stay in the hospital for quite some time and then go back every single day. But yeah, so long story short, boys and girls, pay attention to your health. It's important. Pay attention to your health. Uh, oh, well, thank you, Alex Squatch. No, I'm pretty hard to kill, bro. Like, the universe has tried to kill me a bunch of times, both through sickness and life and mental bullshit and getting shanked and stabbed and shot. And I'm still here, man. Don't worry. I'm very hard. I'm allergic to dying. It's okay. I did come very close this time, though. But yeah, Ah, I mean, I don't know much about the Madonna world thing. I don't really pay attention to such things as much, but I'm sure she'll rebook her world tour when she can. Um, but let's talk about Wee Titties and the channel. First video we're going to be releasing is a comprehensive video that I'm going to be creating on popping old beans. I've been really no, I feel you, WB growers. I'm going to be doing a bunch of educational videos because that's really what made us in the first place. That's really what helped the channel become a thing. And so, as much as I love the live streams, I love getting to hang out with each and every one of you and share some stuff and talk. You know, it's I just want to get back to what we really did and what really made us, right? Which was, in fact, the educational videos, the experimental videos, fucking around with shit, and cataloging it for all of you to see and having fun that way, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to getting back to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, Alex Squatch, I've certainly headbutted a few people in my day. I have a very thick noggin, and I'm good at headbutting. It's a solid fucking dome here, I tell you. So DLSK OG, if you're using salt-based nutrients, I am a big fan of flushing. A lot of people say, "Oh, flushing is based out of bro science." No, it's not. At the end of the day, flushing and allowing the plant to naturally utilize its built-up stored nutrition. Okay, it is true that you can't flush out salt from the plant itself, but you can naturally minimize it by then superhydration. Okay, and at the end of the day, take a plant that's fed salt-based nutrients and don't flush it, and then take one where you do flush it for 2 weeks and compare and contrast the realities of the finish, of the tempering of that cannabis, and it's night and day. Like, so people can call it bro science. I'm going to say that's ludicrous, and I'm going to flush when I use a salt-based nutrient. That's just reality. So I would personally. I used to use General Hydroponics a lot back in the day, but after they got bought out by Miracle Grow and the dude who owns that, I just can't ethically use them anymore. So I stopped using them now, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even more. Because come to think of it, this August 10th, everybody, it'll be 7 years that we've been on YouTube. 7 years, which blows my mind when I think about it. 7 years we've been doing this. Holy shit. Yes, I would say Jan's the dentist. That's probably a safe bet. Well, no. I mean, Mudswat, people don't ever have to follow my advice or my humble 2 cents. They're merely my humble 2 cents. You're usually probably going to be all right following my humble 2 cents. I don't share them because I think I'm wrong. I share them to provide my humble 2 cents. But people can do whatever they want. I'm just a silly fool on a mission to try to help people. I do know a thing or two. This is true, Mudswat. There's been a thing or two that I've been able to put into my brain. Hey, Billy Bong Thornton, nothing wrong with that. I know everybody's been having all these butt hurt things, and I'm like, and I find it funny, these kind of wannabe A-type males are getting all butt hurt about Bud Light being supportive to the LGBTQ community. Who gives a fuck? Like, you're tough? You get butt hurt about a light beer? It's a fucking light beer to begin with. I mean, anyway, it's just so funny to me. Everyone getting all butt hurt about Bud Light. I mean, Bud Light's fine. I drank it for a long time. I'll still drink it from time to time. I mean, I'm back on the PBR these days, but, it is what it is. But it's just like, I find it funny, all these giant manly men having these hissy fits over a light beer. Like, what the fuck is that? Nims 39. What's your top 5 strains in your opinion? Ooh, I mean, I don't really have something I would say a top five strain, but I can agree with you on DJ Short's Blueberry. I've got that in my collection. I've grown that on the channel. Big fan of that one. Um, any one of the Northern Lights, particularly number 4 and 5, big fan of those. I'm a big fan of, even though it was done to death here, like a proper rock star Kush. I love Bubblegum Indica. That was a great one. Obviously, my Sasquatch strain, arguably one of the greatest strains I've ever smoked. Yes, I developed it, but it's just that good. There was a strain that I never really knew what it was. It was some variation of Kush. It was grown by these Chinese dudes that me and my boys used to pick up from back in the day. So we just called it Chush because they were Chinese. They didn't really speak much English, and like they could never really tell us what it was or where it was from. But it was so unique. It was like this sexy, spicy thing. I mean, it was just beautiful. So for us, like we called it the Chush, and man, that Chush was sexy. Hash plant, arguably one of the greatest strains of all time. Fucking a true hash plant, love that shit. Um, Oddly, one of the newer Kushes. I mean, I guess it's not a newer Kush now, given how many new things are out there. But like King's Kush, big fan actually of King's Kush too. I mean, King's Kush was great. Loved some of the phenos that had some purpling that kind of went on there. Uh, Bubba Kush is a very finicky strain, but when done right, love Bubba Kush for sure. Not as big of a fan of Chernobyl. Dutch Treat is too saddy for me. Fire OG is all right, but it's a little new age for my flavor palette. But like, yeah, man. Some of the classics. Purple Kush, big fan of that. I did a Master Kush, obviously, is arguably one of the greatest Kushes of all time. Um, Ultra Master Kush, yeah, sure, it might be slightly better in certain ways, but Ultra Master Kush. But I did this cross years ago, which was a Northern Lights by Master Kush, and those two worlds marrying together was astonishing. At 5.5 weeks, I had 18 top coals in that bush inside in a 2-gallon pot that was as big as my forearm. That was the super mother that I got out of that cross, obviously, but she was a dank motherfucker, I tell you. Yeah, so Rockstar and Pink are very hard to come by. They're available via clone here in BC, so I'll probably get some clones and then cross it with something else to bring sort of some reality of it back to market for everybody. The one thing I will say about Pink is such a watered down strain. It's hard to have a true Pink Kush now, and it's everywhere under the sun. It is a good strain. It was one of the predominant strains of BC, as was Rockstar for a long time. But given this predominance, they've been kind of watered down and lost in many ways. Vic Victor, true, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's from the nutrients. I would actually say that most strains that I grow do that regardless of nutrition. Purple stem is good. I like purple stem. Red stem, bad. Purple stem, good. Panda Cat, I love Hindu Kushes. The Galactic Citra Shiva is an orange Hindu Kush crossed by Alien Rift. The Orange Warrior Widow is that same orange Hindu Kush with a more satty variety in terms of its build, in terms of its structure, though, that I crossed by the Kaitungata by Canadian White Russian that came from Gazzers. Both those strains came from Gazzers. The Northern Lights year 1999. Yeah, but Northern Lights goes back further than 1999, though. Yeah, so Billy Bong Thornton, I have some things I might be able to recreate that with, but I'm trying to get my hands on a true number 4, number 5 Northern Lights, and I don't have anything that I would deem the real Master Kush that I remember from in the hood days. But I will endeavor to acquire some to create a Master Kush Northern Lights cross for everybody, because it's just when you have the right parents going into that cross, it is a beautiful intermix. Like, it's astonishing. Okay, so typically, you got to remember Jansen Dennis. When it comes to bubble hash and or essential or whether we're blasting or making rosin or any of this, typically per ounce of material good material, and we're talking tops or mediums, you're going to get 3 to 6 grams. That's just kind of an unwritten rule. You're going to get more from some and less from others. But basically, the crystalier something is, the more hash you're going to get. Because when we're making hash, okay, what we're doing is we're simply put collecting those trichrome heads, and those trichrome heads is we put them together to make the hash. I've actually got about 10 or 12 pounds of shit that some's in the freezer, some I've got dry curing. Some of it's kind of old, but it's still got all that smell. I'm going to be turning that all into hash. I'm going to be doing that very soon, actually, just because, one, I need to free up space in all my storage areas. But we're going to be processing that. But at the end of the day, if you beat it harder, you'll get more. My favorite way of, like, if we're doing a bubble hash mix, get a power drill, put a fucking spoon in it. That's the way to go, bud. Hell yeah, Alex Squatch. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading. Yeah, that's right, Alex Squatch. But we will be doing kind of what I don't know what I'll call it. It'll probably be something cute, like kind of the the OG strains, or like, old school genetic line, where I'm going to be taking some of these really old things I have in my collection and then trying to bring them back for everybody. Yes, you can, WB growers, but you're going to have to remember that for a few generations, you're going to have a much higher percentage of females to males. Finding a male worth breeding with will be harder in that first generation or two, but yes, you can. It just takes longer. Momanic Meds, what's up? Good to see you. Well, that's where Jansen Dennis, though, too. If you actually allow things to cure out properly, right, that you'll lose some of the chlorophyll. It's going to break down, so it won't taint your hash as much, so you can get away with beating her a little harder. What's up, Visible Farms? Good to see you, my friend. How you doing, brother? I hope everything is doing well. Hell yeah, Mac Mezzi. How are they doing outdoors? They looking good for you right now? They kicking ass and taking names, blowing the fuck up and all that jazz. Ah, there's a thing or two in my head, WB. There's a thing or two. Yes, I'm still having the occasional cigarette here or there, everybody. Not a big deal. It's all good. Relax. It's gonna be okay. All right. Oh, I'm trying to like put it on my generator here so I can. All right, we'll do this and that. There we go. Nope, that's not gonna work either. There, we'll just shoot up like that. All right. That sucks, Mac Busy. And I mean, pests are a thing. I mean, there's a lot of natural things that you can do as deterrents, though, for your plants. That's actually another one of the videos that I'm putting together in terms of like a new educational video of how to shit to do. That I'll be putting together for everybody, like natural ways to deter different types of pests in our gardens, including ants. Ants is one of them. So stay tuned. There'll be much education happening soon. Exactly, Miss K's garden. And I enjoy the occasional dirty party. I like it. I like cigars, I like pipes, and I like that too. But I'm excited. Things are slowly coming together at the house, everybody. We're going to get shit banging again. It's going to be fucking popping off. I'm telling you what, it's going to be good. I just want you to know, Texas Pete, I've missed you, bud. It's good to see you in the show, bud. I've missed you. It's nice to have some of the old fucks back again, and then the no fucks, all of us being pot squatches together. I mean, it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. What's the weather like over here? Oh, it's pretty nice here. I'll show you. Can I flip the camera around? There we go. Flip the camera around. Oh, no. That's the weather today here in beautiful British Columbia. Down in Vancouver, right next to Vancouver General Hospital, where I almost died from my thickened scrotum trying to kill me. Hell yeah, that's awesome, Pilgor, though. It's what you want, isn't it? No, it's not. It's warmer here today, but it's not that warm though. It's not too bad. This is that jersey. I bought this jersey at the game yesterday. I'm normally against the police, but it's got a little RCMP mascot, which is kind of fun. It's the Canadians. Well, what you could do is you can top dress with ice and use that in your flushing period. I mean, I typically, when I have a proper setup, I like to supercharge with my AC units. But yeah, you can flush with ice. Dump a shitload of ice on your plants. That is a positive thing. I agree, WB Grows. That is. Oh, it was good, Jansen Dennis. No, we have fun. We have fun. I enjoyed my giant pretzel. Now, I drank a bunch, had some pretzels. It was a good time. It was a good time. She wanted to go to a movie tonight, but I like, babe, I gotta stay at the house, man, and I keep working on my shit. We'll go to a movie next week. But I told her I'll make her stew. If she comes back, I'll make her dinner. So she'll come back later tonight. And I'll make her some stew. Good old beef stew there. I gotta go down to the grocery store and buy some dead cows. It's gonna probably cost $1 billion, but that's okay. 1 second here, buddy. There we go. Scratching a little PBR action there. Someone should Google what the temperature in Vancouver is right now, so I can share with everybody what the temperature is. So NIMS 39. It's everything on our store is actually listed in USD, just because our servers work out of America. So and plus most of our suppliers minus the seeds. Obviously, I'm doing that here. Realistically, it's going to be a smidge more than I originally anticipated, just because of costing of packaging and other things. But I think it'll work out to about $75 USD for a 25 pack. 25 beans for 75 bones. So that's basically like $3 a bean. Which is a smidgen more than I had originally wanted to do, but it's kind of just what we gotta do, you know? Oh, hell yeah. Well, that's the thing, Miss K. So, like, I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna try to avoid buying stew and beef, right? If I can get a nice inside round roast or some shit like that and break that shit down. Yeah, no, it's just things cost more now, Jason A. So I've had to tweak things slightly. So it's like $3 a bean, but it's still a 25 pack for $75. Very few places, if any, will you get that out there. In my humble 2 cents. So it's still a good price. It's just Yeah, my expenses in general are higher now in terms of just kind of operating everything in this new day and age. And so I hope that's all right with everybody. I know it's a smidge more, but then that way, though, too, at 75, I can get a lot of the breeders are coming in to match our prices. So, well, exactly, hippie zombie, right? Like, it's more than I wanted to do, but it's still a hell of a lot better than most of the fucking prices out there. Right? So, oh yeah. So Alex, Squatch, it'll no, it's not online yet, just because I'm waiting for labels and shit. But the beans, and we're only gonna be launching two or three types of beans at the get go. But I will be producing a lot more different options for everybody over the years to come. They will be available on our store, which is potsquatchsales.com. That is POTSQUATCH sales.com. The website's up. You can go check it out right now. Um, the store will open though very soon for everybody. You're also going to be able to buy CBD hats, T-shirts, grinders, papers, rolling papers, all that shit, and then for a bunch of other stuff. See, that's the thing, Miss K. You may get some, a good chunk because like a proper stable genetic, in my mind, produces half males, right? Like that's what you should shoot for a stable genetic. But at the same time, $40 for five seeds is way too much in my humble 2 cents. So like I'll do 75 for 25, right? So hopefully you'll get some good ladies to play with, and if you're into breeding, you get some good boys too. I will pray for you, hippie zombie, and I will keep my fingers crossed for you. Actually, it's funny, everybody. So Texas Pete, who you see in the show tonight, right now, talking to all y'all, I believe Texas Pete was the first person to ever purchase anything from our first store. He was the first one to buy a hat. He was the first one to buy a shirt. He was the first one to buy a grinder, the papers. I think he was the first one to buy the CBD. He was the first one to buy Jake's All in One. Yeah, so basically, WB Growers is like we're just trying to make seeds more affordable. We're trying to basically make reliable, interesting genetics for people to play with and have in their collections, but then make them affordable too. We approach the same goddamn thing with our CBD. We approach the same goddamn thing with anything we do. What good's medicine? What good's a seed? What's good equipment if you can't afford it? You know what I'm saying? That's true, hippie zombie. And I think what we'll do on a thing there on a store there is like there'll be like an extra charge if you want like discreet shipping. I can do it like in a way that it'll get through if it's going to a place you're worried about. I'm not really too worried about it, especially at least in the states, because seeds have been deemed legal on the federal level. So you don't got to worry about seeds no more. Hell yeah, Visible Farms. Well, you and me should do some trading, man. We should do a little trade at some point. Keep it real, Miss K's Garden. Much love, and I love the videos. You're killing it. Keep being yourself. That's right. Well, guess what, Jansen Dennis? Since we're on the cell phone, I might be able to do a live stream during the live stream too for everybody. Oh yeah, well, Visible Farms. Let's have a chat sometime when we can. Like, do you got a phone number, bro? And then I can just call you on the phone. Send me an email with your phone number. We just chat on the phone. Seems easier to get a hold of people via phones. We've actually got a new company number too, which will be posted on the website. It's actually the new landline here at the apartment. But so I've got a new official company number that we're going to be using for you to call into the company and stuff. And so that'll be coming out on the website as well. And hey, hell yeah, Visible Farms. I'll do the same, my friend. I'll do the same. Hey, Texas Pete, don't worry. There's still hundreds of them in my stock there. You can always get a new one if you need to, baby. I got lots more there, just sitting in the bedroom there with all the other swag that's there. This is just a little nicotine vape thing right now. It's a apple kiwi watermelon ice from Vice. That's true, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think you still got that shirt hanging up at the lab there too. What this? No, this is a disposable nicotine vape. Uh, I have made THC based suspensions that work with these types of vapes though. Lots of tents, NIMS 39. So, but I'm in an apartment now, so we're going to be doing climate control. So lots of like little tents everywhere, and all the breeding is going to happen in tents, just because I'm in an apartment now. This is actually the apartment that where we started the channel and started the show in. Hell yeah, Visible Farms. That's gangster. I'm honored, my friend. I'm honored. Yeah, I think so, hippie zombie. That's why like the ice is sort of a big thing. That sort of little extra menthol action is kind of like, I think helping with the hit there. Don't worry, everybody. If you want signatures on your shit, we'll put an option on the store maybe, or you can just put it in the notes. Please sign. I won't charge you for my signature. I'll just sign it for you. I know some people do that, but I'm not going to do that. You want me to sign it? I'll sign that. Sitting here looking at everything around me in the chaos and contemplating what I have to get set up next. There you go, Daleski OG. I dig it. I dig it. I'm gonna have to go grocery shopping soon there to get the stuff for making a stew. And then once I get that, I'll be able to keep working on the house. Because my goal is hopefully in the next week or two to get things set up to a point where I can actually get some plants going again for everybody. And I really want to make this poppin' old beans episode for everybody too. Interesting, Alex Squatch. I mean, for me, I want a faster breakdown. I want a faster hit on that shit. So maybe I should get off that ice. But yeah, so everybody, I'm gonna work really hard to kind of stay consistent with the live streams, but also just releasing the new shows and all of that jazz. Get everything going. I've got to shave my head again. My God, I've gotten lazy. But we're gonna have everything going. It's gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. Jansen Dennis, your wife wants to DM me. That's totally fine. If she wants to DM me, Jansen, she can do that through Facebook and the Facebook group. I'm assuming you're on Facebook, or if she's on Facebook, she can join the group. Then she can find out who I am there. Um, Also, too, technically, if she wanted to call me, you can always call the new company phone number there. Hell yeah, Daleski OG. That sounds tasty. But yeah, so the new company number will be available on the website, though, everybody. But I'm a little out of practice, everybody, on this doing these shows. There, I'm feeling kind of tired, and I gotta get to the grocery store and then get working on everything else. I gotta walk the dogs and everything. So sounds good. I my life calls. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna keep this shit going. We're gonna get everything back up and stuff. We're gonna get bigger than we ever were before. You know, you can still check out the lights. The store will be open soon. Everything's gonna be good. All right. All right. All right. So, my friends, my family. NIMS 39 will be going live on Wednesdays. Typically, today's Thursday, but I'm going to try to keep with the midweek live on Wednesdays that we normally do. And so we're going to try to do that. I'm going to try to keep it Wednesdays the thing. And then, you know, new videos. In a perfect world, I'll be able to release one a week. So that's what I'm going to be working towards for everybody there. Plus, like, obviously, update videos on the grows. That'll be weekly as well. But, like, I'm going to try to make some educational videos at least once a week. Maybe not. In worst case scenario, at least 2 of those a month. But, yeah. Remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plants. We'll see you next time. All right, all right, all right. Word to your mother. I'll see you soon, you sexy motherfuckers. All right. Peace the fuck out.